Well, a couple of weeks ago, I bent the wood rockers that go underneath these stagecoaches, and that's what rides on the throw braces for the suspension. And I kind of left you in a lurch because I got them bent, but I didn't take them out of the forms. And I needed to do these rocker irons for this 8-passenger really before I tried to get them off the form so I had something to fit them to. So I have the right side clamped in place. That'll kind of give me an idea where that goes. And it all comes off of this old original framework that belonged to an 8-passenger. So, as that little rhyme goes, the time has come, the walrus said, to speak of many things. I guess we'll go see how they turned out. I had left this 8-passenger on the form. Remember, I bent the 11 first. He should be overbent. I have the pressure off of my bending press, and it's all just held with this come along. So we'll see how much spring back it has. Well, I'm loose there. I bent these kind of the double thickness, thinking it was to be overbent. I might be overbent. Sometimes the tension of that band can keep it up a little further. Kind of contain that while I loosen my band off. I did mention as I was bending these that I would rather be bent too far than not far enough. And it might be bent too far. There we are. I'll put them up against my pattern and see what we have. Now these for the 8-passenger did bend pretty nice. Here's my form. So on my pattern, I marked it front and also on my form, and when I came out and put them in, I had the tops of these marked with a T. They came out first, and that actually went to the back side of the rockers. So the front side goes this direction, and you can see I'm a little sharper than what my pattern is. So as I shift this kind of front and back, I can bring it up to where that actually matches really well. And I can do the same with the other end, slide it this way, and it'll match up really nicely here. So if I put this in the middle, really what I need to do is I'll put this on my stove and warm this up and just relax this down on both sides. I think it'll work. Well, these are the 11s. And about the same overbent on these as well. If I shift it again, that fits, but it really should be about right in there. So I need to relax this down, and then this would fit. On this end, on this piece here, I had a little less than ideal. It wasn't really a full knot, but it was right on the edge of a knot, and that's what bent kind of irregular that I was talking about. We'll see if we can fit that in there. Well, I've got all 4 of them adjusted. These are for the 11. If I put my patterns up against them, you might be thinking they don't fit yet. But remember, my pattern is 1.5 inches. That's what I want to end up with. And I bent these at 1 5/8 inches. So I am strong. And these get tapered down to this 3/4 inch on the tip. So the tip is going to be a little closer to this kind of style. So I'm looking for this pattern to fit within the parameters of this wood, and you can see how it will here. I can take this off and take this off and make my pattern fit within this pattern here. And if I move it to the next one, I'm watching both ends at once, but you can see I can make that fit here as well. So if I go to the other end, see, this is where I had that irregular bend just a bit, but that can disappear. And I'm flush here. I can come up into here. So this end is actually going to fit more into this area. So I'm well within the parameters of that wood. And this one is going to be similar. Try to hold my other end where it's supposed to be. But this will get taken off. And right here I'm really close. But again, I'm just going to be right there within the parameters of this form. So if I go to the 8 passenger, I'm looking at the same thing. So here I'm flush. My 3/4 end is going to be here, well within that parameters there, and also here as well. And try to keep this from moving. And flush here, and come right there. This one as well. If I had to, I could relax this one just a little bit more. It would give me a little more room to spare. It doesn't take much to move that, so I could do that one. See, this one I evidently relaxed a little bit more. That one fits more comfortably. Yeah, you can see this one should probably be relaxed closer to what this one is. It doesn't take much to do it. I might do that as well. Just take a little more bend out of this one. That's going to work much better. And now my pattern fits in real comfortably. So these T's on the back of these that I bent is relationship to the back side of these rockers. And I've got the rear rocker iron, and this is the back side of my pattern. So I'm going to use this rocker iron to kind of fine tune what my pattern should be. I have just a little bit of daylight here. If I bring that up right there, that'll make that fit. I'm going to shave this down just a touch. So that's going to fit better there. I'm going to do the same for the front. This is my front rocker iron. That one actually fits very well. I'll leave that one as it is. So this is the remnant of one of the rockers, and it fits this front rocker iron. So that should give me the shape of what the tip of this needs to be for my pattern. And come to 3/4. So that by the time we hit the mount here that goes up to the body, we should be full thickness. And the same for the rear. This is the remnant of the rocker that I have. That'll be the shape of the end of our pattern. And since it looked like there was similarity between the 11 and the 8, I'm going to make them both the same. So I want to do the final fit, and to make sure these don't shift, I'm going to clamp them into place. I want to do a double check up against my iron. This is where my curve stops, so this is where the mount should be. About right in there. And it puts our curve stopping right at the mount. It should be in the back as well. So if you can see this, I'm touching here, and I have about 1/8 of an inch space there. Well, this is 1.5 inches, and my wood is 1 5/8 inches. So I'm going to see if I can't make that adjustment on my wood. I'm touching here. See, I can add that 1/8 inch here. I think I'm just going to leave this getting thicker through here to help make up that difference. So this point here, I'm going to bring down 1/8 of an inch and zero it out there. That little bit did it. That'll work right there. So as you look at these old ones, you can see this has kind of an arch shape here. And I'm still a little thick. My 3/4 is more in that line. And then this is where that upright iron goes. So this actually gets kind of curved like so. Have to be like so. Then this spot here where the upright iron sets for the rockers, here it starts really close, but here it doesn't. It starts away because this is where the saddle to the throw braces go. So it actually starts a little further back. And this is going to be the front. It has the same shape here. And this is where the upright is going to go. And the same thing, we're going to round out our corners here. We'll actually have a little more room down here. When I cut these off in my chop saw, I just 90-degree them off. But you can see it actually has a little bit of a taper to it. So to do this round over, just a full 90-degree round over doesn't really fit very well. But I have these bits here that are closer to that old shape. And that's what I'll take the bulk of it off with. And as always, I fine-tune things with the rasp. So So on these old originals, you can see it comes down to a point. So this needs to be rounded to that point there. And these ends here, they kind of taper off to that point as well. So I want to kind of do the same thing here, kind of that direction, and have these 2 points meet on that corner. As I mentioned a little earlier, instead of this being square, this needs to actually be kind of tapered back at a little bit of an angle. I'll do that on the belt sander. So I put an R for the rear and an F for the front. We'll see if it fits. So this is by no means permanent yet, but it's going to give us a good idea where we're at. I'd say that looks pretty decent. And that gives just a nice picture of the rocker that's going to set on those leather throw braces. It's going to work. So I did the same thing to an 11 passenger rocker, and this was actually the one that was the worst, that had that little kink into it, and it turned out really pretty well. There was enough meat in here that I could take off the little hump and file out the front where it all fit right in to my pattern. So that worked good. I'll go see how it fits on the coach. I think it's going to sit right in here. So I'll have to figure out what my distances are just exactly. I might have to shift it a little bit, but that's going to work good. I like the looks of that. Well, 2 down and 2 to go, but I think the method is going to work. I really am glad that they were overbent, because it's easy to open them up on the wood stove, as you see. It'd be a lot tougher if I didn't have enough bend in them. I like to see the progress on it myself. Hope you do too. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.